Hi, my name is Tracy Chauvin. I'm going to be walking you through the case study for EDL 850 School Law entitled Internet Use Violations, Threats Over the World Wide Web. So, what do I know? I know that we are at Slattery-Steno High School. It is an affluent high school where parents are professionals such as doctors, lawyers, or partners in investment firms. We know that Dr. Harvey Smith has been the principal for 9 years. He has been Principal of the Year by the State Secondary Principals Association 2 years ago. He is proud of the high reputation that the school has. He's highly invested in maintaining that reputation. We know that he also hires highly qualified professionals that have high expectations, high standards for his teachers. And we have Miss Tate, a second-year teacher at SSHS, who has had parent complaints in her previous year, her first year there. We know that she teaches specialized science courses such as zoology, botany, and genetics, and that she got her undergraduate degree, master's degree, and another year of postgraduate work before applying for a teaching position. So she was a little older than your typical first-year teacher would have been. And the parent complaints have been specifically about the class workload and poor instruction. So, it is fall break. It is around Thanksgiving time, and our Veterans Day, weekend. It is a 3-day weekend. Miss Tate receives an email with a link to a Facebook site that has highly suggestive comments about her personal behaviors and critical comments about the rigor of her classes using highly offensive language. There's also the last comment out there says, "Who wants Miss Tate to disappear?" Miss Tate immediately tearfully calls Dr. Smith, who states he believes it is a prank, and she says, "They threatened to kill me. Dr. Smith, what am I going to do? I'm not safe at home. I can't be alone tonight." She forwards the email to Dr. Smith. He logs on, reads the email, clicks on the link to the threatening Facebook page. He immediately says, "I understand your concern, but I sincerely believe that was a prank." And then asks if there's a student who is unhappy with Miss Tate. Miss Tate says that William Hall did this. "He does not like me. He makes snide comments to other students whenever I turn around. He's clever, so I haven't been able to prove that he's a disruptive influence, but I'll just bet William developed this Facebook page." The other students ask for his help whenever computer problems happen. Dr. Smith states that he's going to print hard copies of the email Facebook page. In the morning, he and Miss Tate will speak with William, some of his friends who may know who developed the website. If necessary, they'll ask the district technologist to help determine where the email originated. What do I need to know? What are the district policies on threats and or cyber aggression? Information on the parent complaints from the prior years. It was stated that Dr. Smith had given a few suggestions and that Miss Tate potentially had not been using those suggestions. Have other teachers gotten similar complaints? What are the workloads like in the other classes for this high-achieving affluent school? What are Mrs. Tate's expectations for an outcome? Does she want to come back to school? Does she feel as if this will be okay if things get resolved? What supports have been used to support Miss Tate as a probationary teacher? Again, Dr. Smith said that it was said that Dr. Smith had offered some suggestions after the parent complaints, but does she have a mentor? Is there an instructional coach? And then why has Miss Tate not implemented any of Dr. Smith's strategies? What is the problem? Miss Tate feels threatened. That is our imminent problem that's right here. The initial response and plan for responding was a little lackluster, a little underwhelming. Dr. Smith saying it was a prank and that they can immediately pull the student in without talking, without trying to investigate a little bit further about who made made some of the comments prior to the "we want her to disappear." The culture of Miss Tate's classroom and her having not implemented any strategies provided by Dr. Smith are a long-term problem. So our proposed plan of action is gather more information. Without Mrs. Tate, let's talk to William, see his thoughts, feelings, and concerns about the class. Ask William if he knows anything without being accusatory. Review all of our previous parent contacts to determine if there are any parents who have made complaints with students currently in Miss Tate's class. Also note any parents who might have been aggressive or might have been threatening in those past communications. Speak with IT to see if they can investigate the online portion and report the site to Facebook so that they can review it for removal. And then Also, review and follow all protocols. Talk with the secondary services coordinator and the legal department to ensure that the district protocol is being followed for an investigation such as this, and determine if what is allowed legally, as this might be students' First Amendment rights. So we might not be able to do a whole lot about this if it was done outside of school on personal devices on a public Facebook page. And if allowed, contact any parents of the students who commented and talk with them. And then we also need to really work on an improvement plan for Ms. Tate, targeting her classroom culture, relationship first, in order to increase that rigor. Providing a mentor for her, conducting walkthroughs and set up weekly meetings with her and Dr. Smith, and increase PD overall around engagement, responsive classroom practices, so that the culture of the building itself becomes more positive, especially when this is such a high intensity, high stakes school in general. And then that professional development would be available to everybody and required for everybody. And last, incorporate digital citizenship into classroom lessons so that this hopefully will be prevented in the future. And throughout all of this, document all the contacts, document all the parent contacts, document all the district contacts, document every single thing, printing off everything that Ms. Tate has told you. So that is the overarching plan as well. Document. So what is best for students? What's best for students is following laws and policies and creating an infrastructure of support for Ms. Tate and creating a culture of trust, safety, and connectedness. So knowing that she has an infrastructure of support, hopefully Ms. Tate will feel confident and capable in her classroom and want to come back and will be eager to come back and regardless of this incident. And following district policies and procedures to investigate. Using upper administration to support policy implementation, talking with William versus accusing William, increasing collaboration between staff via the state support plan, putting a plan in place to teach digital citizenship. The culture starts to shift to become trusting, safe, and connected for all versus this high expectations, rigor. A little bit of reflection. What am I thinking? That this is a learning moment for all. Dr. Smith has focused so much on reputation that maybe culture has suffered because of it. How can we better support everyone? How can we have students really feeling challenged by school, but still sharing the ownership of their learning with the teachers? That I'm also thinking this is really difficult to monitor online activity for all within a community. We can't do a whole lot outside of school. We can't do a whole lot if there's no direct threat. There's no imminent danger, imminent harm to anyone when it's on a social media post. And I also felt that, I thought that Dr. Smith's response was a little patronizing. It was a little, oh, this will be okay. It's just a prank. I am valuing the policies. They give me a starting point. They tell me where to go, the relationships with upper administration, with parents, so that I can navigate that, hopefully while still maintaining our culture of trust. And then the opportunity for growth for everyone, for Ms. Tate and Dr. Smith and the students. And I am feeling empathy for all involved. This is a tough situation. It feels as if everybody's a little bit frustrated by it. I'm feeling optimistic that there can be a positive outcome from this, and purposefully following all those policies, knowing that there's a procedure in place to handle an incident such as this. Future implications. There are some unanswered questions though. How does Ms. Tate feel about returning to school? I have no idea. Will the climate and culture of her room change with all the extra support and that really good plan for her? I don't know. Will Dr. Smith have more empathy for situations like this in the future and feel more comfortable responding to them in a supportive manner? Will embedding digital citizenship into the curriculum help with situations like this in the future? Or will it not? What discipline is allowed for students creating a public Facebook page to share their thoughts, feelings, opinions about school personnel? Is this just a First Amendment right and we have to just go with it, even if it's hurtful? Let's talk a little bit about Standard 5. An education leader at the building level applies knowledge that promotes the success of every student by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. That first component of integrity. How do we promote integrity with our with our response, responding in a way that promotes the dignity and worth of all involved. By not violating student rights and ensuring that Ms. Tate was also supported, we were able to act with integrity. By creating that culture of safety and security by following laws, policies, and procedures. By having that follow-up, the continual check-in with Ms. Tate, we're creating that culture of safety and security for her. And we're also acting with integrity by investigating thoroughly, not allowing the demographic to sway the investigation, which again goes back to that creating a culture of safety and security. Everyone is held accountable. Everyone has consequences for their actions. And so we're creating a way for everybody to feel supported and safe. How are we acting with fairness? Again, responding in a way that promotes the dignity and worth of all involved. Asking them for assistance versus accusing. Gathering information prior to reacting. Supporting Ms. Tate throughout the process and developing an ongoing plan. Following the laws, policies, and protocols. Providing training for staff, incorporating digital citizenship into the curriculum. These are all ways that we're being fair and unbiased in the way we're acting as a building leader. Acting in an ethical manner, following laws, policies, and protocols. Holding all accountable in the situation. No one person is given preferential treatment. Working on a collaborative method to ensure no biases were present, making sure that we were following what IT says to do, what our legal department says to do, what our secondary services coordinator said to do, ensuring that we were making sure everyone was held accountable and everyone was treated fairly and ethically. Listening to all parties to gather that information as well. Thank you so much for walking through my case study for EDL 850.